So there are so many incidents of life in our life which we actually miss. So my suggestion would be that whenever we think about something and we imagine about something, this is a starting point of a nice problem statement. This can be something very basically. This can start something. This can be initiated in such a way that people start thinking about a problem. So and let us assume the trade secret. Let us assume that all of us are selling oranges. Now, in a market, if I also take my basket of oranges, the customers will come and they will ask me, Kashif, how your oranges are different comparable to the other people who are selling oranges.
Right.
So it means I need to come up with this with a different argument, with a different proposal, with a different argument. The lens which I see the world has not been seen by others before. That's, I guess, what Carissa was also telling, that when you are reading, you need to come up with such an argument that you pitch it in a way that others probably have failed or they may have ignored in a sense. Now about mannerism. Mannerism is about our daily life. Mannerism is about time management. Mannerism is about, you see, in our daily life, generally what happens if I say, Adlim, hello Adlim, how are you? I am fine, sir. Adlim, I want to meet you. And okay, Adlim says, okay, Kashif, come to my house. And I say, okay, Adlim, I'll come in 5 minutes. But come on, if I come after 2 hours, I have wasted 2 hours actually. So instead of saying 5 minutes and going there for 2 hours, after 2 hours, I should take it at a more logical, at a more scientific route. For example, I can say, okay, Neem, after 30 minutes, I'll be there. Consider time. This is my first suggestion when it comes to mannerism. Secondly, ethics. Ethics not only means self-discipline, but also means that helping others to prosper in ethics. This is a more transcendental approach, that I have not limited ethics to my own self only, but rather I am preaching it to others. I have seen many good teachers, Azim. If I recall, one of the best teachers around, he or she always came up with some lessons of life, which even today, after I finished my college around 2002, so it has been good 20 years, I still remember him or her. Why? Not only the command over the subject matter, but also the lessons that he or she gave to me when I was a student, and telling me about the importance of time, telling me the importance of tolerance, telling me that you should dress accordingly, telling me that you should not make people wait, telling me that you should not react to people in a way that they feel bad about, like demonstration of the socially desirable emotions. So these are the basics just to start with. And then as you ask questions, we will like dig deeper into the essence of it. So that's so far, that's from my side.
So thank you very much for your wonderful and golden words. So yeah, I hope the students have got a bird eye view, because you have very well explained everything. And now I would like to come back to Professor Dr. Taimur Kiani sir. So my question is that how can we select a research gap? You know, you told us that you were called a research gap master in university, right? So please share your valuable experience so the students can get a benefit as well.
This is a very interesting question, and I really appreciate your remark. I wish I mean, I've become a master of research, finding research gap. Uh, you know, Actually, the thing is that the first thing is to make it a science. How we can make research gap a science is that first of all we have to we have to narrow our topic, and we have to start reading different articles and make one article as a seminal article. And we say this article is, I wish I could have, I've written it, that kind of remarks. And you say, oh, this is my research. Oh, I love it. That kind of one seminal article. And then I figured out that what is missing or in that research, or how can I further extend that research? What are the areas in which I can move on, and that research can be extended? So what the one thing where the safest route is that I extend others' research in that direction. One aspect of it. Second, in order to find a research gap, is that I create certain questions. I raise different questions and that questions are not answered by previous researches. So the other trick is that I come up with the questions which are different from the research paper I read. And the third one is come up with a different theory, the different way of seeing the same research problems with a different theoretical framework. So if I have a different research methodology, for example, if somebody has conducted a quantitative research on the topic and I am conducting a qualitative research, all of a sudden I have a research gap because previously people studied in the same topic in a quantitative manner. So what I'm saying is that use these three tricks to find your research gap. If you don't have a research gap, then you have no thesis. This is my central argument. So whenever you come, because people, and then from that research gap, you can develop your title of your thesis. Because if your title of your thesis reflect your research gap, then all of a sudden your approval of your research proposal are 100%, because people will say, well, this is very clear. So the clarity comes with the research gap.
Right. Thank you very much for your uh, uh, for your words, and I hope the students are getting it, and they will be using your techniques, right? Using qualitative to quantitative and reading articles to find gaps, right? So now coming back to Mr. Bob. Uh, Professor Bob, can you please tell us what are some of the significant steps that a student should follow in order to come up with the thesis proposal?
Okay. Basically, in order for us to come up with with a thesis proposal, we need to find a problem that actually current or prevailing. It's because we need to find a sustainable research problem in order for for the researcher to be accepted that kind of specific problem. Okay, and then we come up with a different, because maybe we can use a different method, or we can use a mixed method approach, or we can find a existing research that we can replicate that matter, and then we use a different method. Maybe that existing research method, as Professor Kayani said, that maybe the existing research is qualitative, and then now I'm using a quantitative research, or I can use it, or I can use a mixed method approach.
Right. So my question to all of the panelists here is that please kindly throw some lights on the significance of the research, because whenever I asked any student to, because in a university I used to teach, but they don't getting any giving any importance to thesis or articles, right? So when I ask students that it is very significant, and they ask, sir, what is the matter? We just need any degree, so why do we research? So I want all of my three guest members kindly throw some light on this. Why a student should research, right? The student that comes to the higher studies and now he's being introduced to the research on the very first time. So just throw a light so that students can understand the significance of research, how it will change the world, how people are getting benefited, and how it is serving humankind, right? And for example, in literature, so it is not it is a common thought that we just read. So because if we say there is a research in chemistry, there is a research in physics, they are making aeroplanes and atomic bombs and all sort of appliances, right? But in English, what is the benefit of research? This is the very first question that is being posed to me. So from the most of the students, they are sitting in the BS or even in MS, and because there is a trend also, people do not used to get the thesis for the MS or MPhil. They prefer MS and coursework over the thesis or research. So throw some lights Now coming back to Mr. Kashif, please throw some light on this so students can have a better point of view about that.
Azalim, thank you very much for posing this very interesting question. This is so unfortunate that whenever we enroll in a postgraduate degree, only then we are thinking about research. This is so unfortunate because our college life, it goes vivid without even troubling ourselves to find this word in our dictionaries of daily life. And when I say the dictionary of daily life, it means that whatever we speak about, whatever we think about, with the people we talk, with the funerals we go, with the weddings we attend, so we waste a lot of knowledge. I think that research is not about being enrolled in a degree and then thinking about it. My opinion is that research is about thinking about the self, thinking about life, taking it seriously. For example, if I go to a wedding, I'll give you an example of Tanzeem, Adlim, the discipline. You see, there are people who are actually recruited to arrange the seating plan, right? There is a
Right.
round table,
Right.
and then there are 6 chairs around it. But have you seen what happens on weddings? Bring chair here, bring chair here. Oh, come on, Adlim, you're sitting there, bring chair here. So those recruited people, their effort goes wasted. This is a
Right.
sense of discipline that societies such as us have. For example, that round table with 6 chairs becomes 18 chairs round table. And
Obviously.
everyone is just like sitting like, okay. So this is one state of expression that we can think that why people do so. I'm not sure that it will go, this type of research will go into English language and literature or linguistics or any other field, but I'm generally talking about the research attitude, that from where we can grab it. Another perspective could be trafficking. Another perspective could be the pollution or garbage handling techniques. I have been to Indonesia 2 times, Adlim.
Yes.
I have seen they also have the trafficking issues in us. In Jakarta, if you have to, I don't know if Professor Bob will agree with me. If you have to travel from one place to the other place, come on, my God, it might take 4 hours to even travel to like 30, 40 odd kilometers when it is the morning time or evening time when people are traveling around here and there. I remember I went from, Bob, I went from Jakarta to Cikarang and it took me 4 hours. Okay, my flight landed around 9 p.m. in the night and it took me like 4 good hours to travel from one place to the other. So trafficking is such an issue that we had. Now you were talking about Adlim significance.
Yes.
Can I have a person, politician as a researcher, who can help me to manage it? This is one area of significance.
Obviously,
Another
there no one.
let us wish someone like Castro, like Saddam. Let us wish someone who come and dictate us that okay, if you will do this, this will happen. Do this, becomes more instrumental. Secondly, another area these days on media, it has been discussed that dengue fever is mounting in Pakistan. The number of cases are increasing, right? So
Right.
people are no agenda setting, and it will go into more sales of mosquito repellents, right? So who knows that mosquito repellent selling companies might have told media to just set an agenda so that people rush to the market and buy those repellents. I don't know the secret. I'm just making a guess of it. So another significance is that perhaps there should be some researcher in biology can come and help us to counter this problem. So these two examples, trafficking, pollution, corruption as an example among politicians, the image of police as an institution, right? So these are the real-time problems. If someone can come and address those problems to counter these issues, I guess the work has been done. And one last thing, if you ask me how to start a thesis respecting the views of my friends, the panelists, I would say discuss it with a subject expert, someone who has read an area, someone who has published in a particular area, someone who has been teaching in a particular area. So if we sit and discuss with those people who are Ahle Nazar, Bob, Ahle Nazar means someone having a vision for the future. Okay, it's our own language. And so one local recipe, the Desi Totka, the grandma story would be to discuss with someone with a nazar, with a vision. You will be surprised to see that from one stage to the other stage, it might take years for me to reach there, but a discussion of 15 minutes even can take me there. So discussion with a subject specialist, discussion with a guru, I guess takes the way forward. These are just bits and small pieces from my side.
Thank
Over
you
to
very much.
others.
Thank you very much, Kashif sir. Now, I would like to throw some, Mr. Kiani, to show throw some light on this, the significance of research in the eyes of the students. Why the students should research, right? So
First
motivate
of all,
them to with along
Adleen,
with the
this is one of the most interesting questions you have raised, and we all, as a student of different subjects, we understand that why people do less research. Actually,
Mm.
when we say why the research is significant, because it make you more relevant. If you do research, you are become more relevant because you know exactly what are
Mhm.
the key problems in your area. So it makes you relevant. The first thing is, if I am a student, why I do research, I want to make myself relevant.
right,
Number two, it increases my critical skills. Now,
right,
critical skills are very important in life because they become a problem solving skills. And people hire those people, those who are very good in critical thinking, in problem solving thinking.
right,
And how they will figure out that? They figure out by your research. They will ask you what your thesis is all about, and then you say, no, I didn't pick up the research option, and I go for the coursework. And they will ask you the why. What? And all of a sudden they will make up their mind. So what I'm saying is that the second important thing is that in order to get a job, you need critical thinking. Third thing is discipline, as Kashif Sahib pointed out about the ethics and the discipline side of it. Whenever somebody says, I'm doing thesis, all of a sudden other understand that he or she is a disciplined person.
right,
So you are making all three things, uh, I mean, very in a very good fashion. And to very honest with you, if I for me, if I'm looking for a job, I'll go for thesis rather than
right,
go for coursework.
right. So let me share a small incident. I was having a demonstration, and I asked the candidate. I said that you have not selected the thesis or research, but here, what if we give you the research topic? So what will you do? So she said that, sir, I will try, and I will try to learn. So my next question was that, why don't you try it when you get a chance? So she got no answer.
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
is very pleasant to see all of these panelists, and thank you very much for your time. One last question, Bob, and I will come to you, please. Please throw some light. How do the students in Philippines, so they see they prefer the research, or they prefer other subjects or theories rather than the research? Are they passionate enough to go to the research, or it is just similar like here we are sitting there, like Pakistan? Most of the people, they don't get into the research. So kindly throw some light on that.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So let me give you my my country glimpse, because I'm currently here based in Philippines. I'm also teaching here in the Philippines. Okay, here basically based on my observation as a research professor here in the Philippines, students are actually quite annoying in terms of research
Right,
during research subject, because they find it very difficult. They told me, sir, it's very difficult to to follow the systematic process, because research, I told them, research is a systematic process. You need to come up first with a first step before you go with the next step. So now it's students, it's also very difficult to find, you know to come up, or to to write in terms of really chapter 2 related studies and related literature, because they are actually lazy for readings.
right,
So I don't know if in Pakistan if same culture or attitude in terms of different students, but students nowadays are actually lazy.
right,
I don't know. they actually they want to use social media, but social media is not actually a reliable source. We
Right.
need to come up, we need to go with our basic, with reliable sources like books, any reliable sources. But
Right.
no, students nowadays is uh happy go lucky. I call it happy go lucky. So because they want, they want to do this, and then they want to pass the subject without, without striving hard. So that's the problem here in my country. But of course, as an educator, we need to set a standard.
Right.
So that's all I can say.
Right,
Dream,
student. Yes, sir.
same story everywhere. You know, it's very interesting that, I would like to share a story with you, my own story.
Please,
Is that,
please. Sir.
I mean, I love to teach flip classrooms. Flip
Right.
classroom is that, when you have a video, small video, and then you give that video to student first, and they watch the video, and then you discuss that video, and with the help of the video, you raise question and discussion.
Yes, I do
So I
remember.
have I developed a channel called Dr. Kiani's World, for that reason, and I put all I I mean did a lot of hard work in developing that, and 50% of the students, whenever I reach the classroom and I ask questions, and they say, oh, we forgot. So they are lazy, not in
Yeah.
not in reading books. They are lazy in even watching the videos.
Yeah, and also listening.
So what
So,
I'm saying is that, and somebody who's working hard, and maybe thinking it's a digital age, so I should develop a TV, a channel for education channel for them. And all of a sudden, that 50% of your audience, they don't watch your any lecture.
yes, sir, it is very heartbreaking, but students are students. They, whenever there are vacations, they are happy. Whenever there is no lecture, they are happy. So this is as Bob just entitled happy go lucky. They just want to pass somehow. So
But
Yeah.
Lima, I salute you for that. There are
thank you
more than
very much,
70 participants right now,
sir.
and that shows that we are doing something right.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your time. Actually, you made it possible, Mr. Kashif. Thank you very much, Dr. Kiani. Thank you very much,
Most welcome, Atul.
and Mr. Bob. Thank you very much, especially because there is a lot of time difference, and you are still managing here, and it will be hard for you after university classes, and after a busy routine. You gave me time. Thank you very much, and I hope all the students they got some ways how they can improve, and they also know the importance of research. And I wish you, all of you, very best of luck for your future, and thank you very much. Thank you Dr. Saab again,
Thank
and
you very
thank you
much.
Kash Saab. Bob, thank you very
Take
much
care.
for that.
Bye.
So the meeting will end now.